to the ground. I couldn't stop him, no easy answers found. Maybe I could feel stronger if I could bully someone else. No, not today. I'll break the cycle, break the chain, stop the pain. So break it, break it, break it. We have to break the chain. If violence begets itself, more violence remains. So break it, break it, break it. We have to break the chain. We have to break the cycle for peace to be reclaimed. Breaking the cycle, we don't need to hurt again. Let others shine as they will. Be kind and be a friend. Do as you would have, rather than what's been done. Break the cycle of this hate. Bring this madness to an end. So break it, break it, break it. We have to break the chain. If violence begets itself, more violence remains. So break it, break it, break it. We have to break the chain. We have to break the cycle for peace to be reclaimed. So break it, break it, break it. We have to break the chain. We have to break the cycle for peace to be reclaimed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 16th Annual Stop the Hate Award Ceremony. I'm Jimmy Malone from iHeartRadio and WTAM. A couple of things before we get started. Number one, they were nice enough to use a picture of me when I still had hair, and I appreciate that. They had to dig long and deep for that. I don't need reading glasses, but I wear them in support of those of you who do. I want to make that clear. And then one other thing, I want to make sure, don't embarrass yourself. If your phone isn't on silent yet, you might want to put it on silent now. How embarrassing it would be for your phone. I think mine. Okay, we're all set. But anyway, I love this event, Stop the Hate in the Maltz Museum. They do such a fantastic job, and for me, it's just great to be affiliated with them again. 16 years is really something special.
And I'm Sarah Spinner-Liska, a trustee here at the Maltz Museum, and it's our privilege to be here with all of you tonight to celebrate, as Jimmy said, 16 years of Stop the Hate. Before we go any further, let's give a huge round of applause for our middle school winning class of the Youth Sing Out contest. More to come about the Youth Sing Out shortly, but thank you so much to Lisa Blasco's 6th grade class from Harding Middle School and Roots of American Music teaching artist Charlie Mosbrook, who worked with these amazing students on their original song, Break It, Break It, Break It.
Since the start of the Stop the Hate program, the museum has been able to provide a voice and platform for more than 50,000 students across 12 Northeast Ohio counties. And tonight they have reached a major milestone. The program has now awarded $1.6 million in scholarships and anti-bias education grants to students and schools. That is absolutely amazing. By the end of this evening, the Malta Museum will have awarded another $100,000 in scholarships, grants, and prizes for students and schools standing up and speaking out for diversity and inclusion. Now, before we go any further, I want to ask every student and educator here tonight to stand up and give these great people a round of applause, students and educators. Thank you for being here tonight. You may be seated.
Okay, so let's go over what these kids have been up to with the Stop the Hate contest. Students participated in 2 categories: Youth Speak Out, an essay and poetry writing contest, and Youth Sing Out, a songwriting contest. Both celebrate Northeast Ohio students in 6th through 12th grade who are committed to creating a more accepting, inclusive society by speaking out against hate and bias, as they also compete for a chance to win awards. For Youth Speak Out, we had over 2,000 students this year participating from 25 schools. That's over 100 classrooms focused on turning the tide on discrimination and bias right here in Northeast Ohio. Outstanding. For Youth Sing Out, over 1,400 students at 13 schools participated. We'll get to hear from our high school winning class later in the program. With us here tonight are the top essay and poetry finalists for this year's Stop the Hate contest, and they are competing for awards in the following categories: middle school and high school poetry, 6th through 10th grade essay, and 11th and 12th grade essay.
Now, each of the students participating in the essay contest submitted a 500-word essay in response to this year's prompt, which was, "I no longer believe that we can change anything in the world until we have first changed ourselves." That's a great quote. It's from Etty Hillesum, a young Jewish Dutch woman who wrote a diary during the Second World War. She believed internal personal change was a necessary first step to bring about positive change in the world, and this was the main lesson to be learned from the Holocaust. In 500 words or less, students were asked to describe a moment of injustice, bias, discrimination, or exclusion that they had witnessed, experienced, or learned about, and then reflect on those impacted and how this event inspired personal change, as well as positive changes in their broader community and the world. You're going to hear some of these essays very soon, and we've been privy to some of them, and they are powerful and inspiring. But before we get to that part, we do want to thank some of our sponsors who support the mission of Stop the Hate. Our signature sponsors include the Chelm Family Foundation, Dealer Tire, Dominion Energy Charitable Foundation, the Harry K. and Emma Rosenfield Fox Charitable Foundation, the John and Peggy Garson Family Foundation, the Louise H. and David S. Ingalls Foundation, Martha Holding Jennings Foundation, Maltz Family Foundation, I've heard of them, the Nordson Corporation, Helen F. Lewis Stolier Family Foundation. So big round of applause for our main sponsors. And a very special thanks to our presenting sponsors, the Semi J. and Ruth B. Gunn Foundation. Another big round of applause for them. See, I'm trying to get you used to applauding, because when you hear the students, you're going to want to applaud a lot. So I'm getting you all loosened up for that. Thank you, partners, Lake Erie Inc., Roots of American Music, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Are there any of the representatives from those organizations here? If so, please stand. So yeah, stand up, take a bow. And lastly, we want to thank our volunteers, readers, and judges who had, that is such a tough job to be a judge for something like this, because trying to pick a winner when they're all so great is so tough. But they had to review the essays and poems and score the top entries. Not an easy task, so thank you to each of the judges. And this is where I'm mad at Sarah, because I got stuck with the tough names here. But we have Eduardo Kim. We're going to put, okay, Lisa Collins, Executive Director, Superhero Project, John Panza, English Honors Coordinator at Tri-C, Michelle Pomerantz, Chief of Education, Office of the Mayor, City of Cleveland. Cecilia H. Render, Executive Director, Nordson Corporation Foundation. And then our judges, and if I miss your names, do not yell at me. I'm doing the best I can, and Sarah could have done this. But DeQuala Hunt, author, poet, spoken word artist. Egal Kaufman, multiple media journalist. Idea Stream. Charles Malone, Assistant Director, Wick Poetry Center, Kent State. Michelle Smith, Programming Director, Literary Cleveland. And Rachel Zake Ozan, Writer, Director, Actor. And then our youth sing-out song judges, Joe Butler, Manager of Education, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Edward P. Gallagher, Director of Education, Beck Center for the Arts, Jeff Niesel, Music Editor, Cleveland Scene, and Treffa Offit, Director of Education at Playhouse Square. Big round of applause for all.
Great job, Jimmy. And now I have the distinct pleasure of honoring tonight the co-founders of the Stop the Hate program, Milton and Tamar Maltz, who are here with us tonight. When Milt and Tamar developed this program, their vision was to give students a platform to promote a more inclusive society by standing up and speaking out against bias and bigotry. And their generous gifts are part of what makes all of this possible.
It's not a very pretty story, but it was my first encounter with what I call anti-Semitism of that era. There were no buses in those days for children, so we had to walk. So at 5 years of age, I walked my 10 blocks. And when I got there, there were a group of fellows that were much older. They surrounded me and they said, "You're a Christ killer." They began to tear off my clothes. I had nothing on me other than my shoes, stockings, and underwear. I wrenched myself free and I ran, didn't walk home the 10 blocks. And I was crying and I told my mother, "Who is Christ?" This was my first encounter with anti-Semitism. Once you've been the victim of hate, you have a feeling that other kids need help.
That is quite a legacy there. We know you're all anxious to hear from our students and to find out who the grand prize winner is, and we are very eager to hear that too. But first, there's always a but first, I want to introduce the Managing Director of the Maltz Museum, Mr. David Schaefer. Let's hear it for David.
Thank you, Jimmy and Sarah, and thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you to all the students, teachers, volunteers, members, families, and everyone for joining us tonight. And a quick note of appreciation to the Maltz Museum Board of Trustees and Board Chair Renee Chelm. Your leadership, guidance, and steadfast support helped the museum achieve its mission to cultivate a more inclusive tomorrow. I'd also like to thank Liz Novak, the museum's Manager of Education, and Courtney Krieger, Manager of Family Programs and Outreach. They're out there. There's Liz and Courtney, I don't know where you are, but together they manage the Stop the Hate program and work tirelessly to ensure its success. Since 2008, the Stop the Hate program has been alive and well in the community. I've had the privilege of reading the essays and poems and hearing the songs of our students create year after year, and they never fail to inspire. While the subject matter we address is tough, we're trying to stop hate, after all. I always find myself more optimistic about the future as the program unfolds every year. What our students in this program teach me is that while we all have work to do in fighting injustice and discrimination, our future is in good hands. The next generation can and will use their voices and actions to move us closer to a world where our differences are celebrated. Perhaps now more than ever before, our children are dialed into understanding bigotry and injustice in all its ugly forms. They see it in the newsstands across the global stage. Naturally, many of us try to shield our children's exposure to hate and intolerance, but sadly, it persists. Yet, in the face of the dynamics of our increasingly complex world, our children find resolve. They see hate for what it is. They recognize their power in stopping it, and they're ready to take action. If it's not inspiring, if that's not hope for the future, I don't know what is. And that's why the Stop the Hate will always have a special place in my heart. So again, my sincere gratitude to the teachers, students, families, supporters, volunteers who have made the program the success it has been for so many years. Speaking of volunteers, a whooping 348 volunteers generously donated their time to blind score this year's essays, poems, and songs. Thank you for committing yourself to that colossal task. And let's face it, this program wouldn't be possible without the tireless work of so many supporters who volunteer their time to bring Stop the Hate to our community. One of these people who works tirelessly to ensure every aspect of the program goes without a hitch is Tim Bowens. That's why it's my pleasure to honor this year's first ever Stop the Hate Volunteer of the Year, Tim. Will you please come up and get your award?
All right, this year in recognition of diverse talents and interests of students and the importance of fostering creative expression, we integrated poetry as a submission option for the 6th through 12th grade students enrolled in writing workshops with our partners at Lake Erie Inc. And we launched a pilot program giving these young folks different ways to express their ideas, and it paid off. An amazing response. Over 500 students participated in these writing workshops, and they did a fantastic job. We asked them to do this: create an original poem that is specific to your experience or understanding of injustice, bias, discrimination, or exclusion. Use your imagination and poetic language to describe an experience or moment related to the themes. Share a call to action. Illustrate a message, a vision of unity, hope, or change. Tonight we have 6 poetry finalists, 3 middle school students, and 3 high school students. We want to take a moment to congratulate each of you for your creativity, bravery, and standing up against hate. Please, each of you, stand up to be recognized, and congratulations to all of you. There should be 6 people standing right now. You know who you are. And congratulations to all of you. There we go. To do even more good in the world. Right now we're going to announce the top 3 high school and middle school winners. Our middle school top 3, and you also hear the winning poem. In 3rd place, Beatrice Watkins, 7th grade, Hathaway Brown. She wins a $100 cash prize, so congratulations to Beatrice. 2nd place middle school, Anissa Halmawi, 7th grade, Hudson Middle School, gets a $200 cash prize. And our middle school first place winner is Mia Tayushan. Mia, come up here to the podium and read your poem. Mia is a 6th grader at Hudson Middle School. She takes dance classes and is on her school's Science Olympiad team. Hopes to work for NASA. Come on up here. NASA one day, become a rocket scientist and work on Mars mission. Congratulations on your $400 cash prize, Mia. I get half.
The twisted tiger. The inky black tiger that twists you inside. The wicked cackle that echoes in your mind. Tears coming down, tearing your insides, making you wonder if you should hide. In first grade, I was given little digs, little things that cut deep, punches and threats, tears and cries. I wonder who saw these discourtesies, these wicked, bitter, terrible things, the beginning of bullying. A weeping willow tree in the field sways gently. It pains the nature to see the way things happen. A leaf falls off each time you cry. Eventually, this tree will die. This is the works of bullying. In fourth grade, I was given a slap to the face, a bottle of water, squirted and splashed, soaking up my joy, wetting my face, taking me to a lonely place, the effects of bullying. An isolated cactus, spikes pushing against the wind, living in solitude in a mournful mood, the outcome of bullying. In fifth grade, I was given a pound to the heart, a sting that said, "You're not that pretty." The girl had stung me deep. She decided to say it flat to my face. She sent her thoughts in a simple classroom, once full of joy, then gone, starting to move on, stepping away from bullying. A weed in the garden, starting to be pulled, roots reduced to fragments, saving the garden from harassment, putting a stop to bullying. In sixth grade, I was impishly pranked. Something as simple as a white lie came out as a monster. Fake autographs and phone numbers, that was all that was required. Gashed and bruised, that was a hope in someone's world. I'll never know why, a wish in their sky. I am more than bullying. The threats you're given, comments that sting, it wraps you up in poison ivy, trying to get out, the aching vine of rope, if only a friend would spare some hope, standing up to bullying. A few days later, I walked to the field, surrounded by friends. I could not speak when I turned to hear her call me a geek. I am stronger than bullying. Find your courage. You want to run away from this sinister tiger, but you must explain. Be the protector in shining armor. Be the one to save hope. Be the one to make things right. Be the one to stop the fight. You can rise above bullying.
Thank you, Mia. That was incredibly powerful. Now, who's ready to recognize our high school runner-ups? Okay, third place, high school, Adele Wenzel, 10th grade, Lakewood High School, who wins a $1,000 cash prize and $1,000 grant for her school. Okay, second place in high school, winning a $2,000 cash prize and $2,000 grant for his school, is Kai Jones, 11th grade, Glenville High School. And the high school first place winner, who wins a $3,500 cash prize and a $2,000 grant for Lakewood High School, May Mohar. May, can you come up to the podium? May is in 11th grade at Lakewood High School and loves to learn and read. She's also a long-distance runner, captain of her school's cross-country, indoor and outdoor track teams, and her dream job is conducting research for a hospital or the World Health Organization. Take it away, May.
My poem is called Dolls and Sweaters. I'm a China doll that wears a red and yellow sweater, one of the thickest wool, wrapping me in vivid moments, a security blanket of the past that drapes over my shoulders. It keeps my heart at 101 degrees. I thought of it as fuel to my fire. Frustration could keep me going, but like a bird, I was trapped in a cage wildly beating for freedom. But as a doll, I cannot move, and the temperature rises. To dwell, to think, to feel, my mind becomes hauntingly beautiful, like the shining Garden of Eden. I am willing the loose ends of my prison to unravel. Each inch of yarn unraveled is another chain unlinked. I let go of the hate I felt towards those who hate. I let go of the moment I was asked to see my Made in China brand. I let go of the stares my family receives daily just because I do not mirror my mother. I let go of the memories of my friends pulling on their eyes and mocking this accent I do not have. I break out of the stereotype box I felt confined to. The sweater unravels, but the wool isn't thick. There are many layers of yarn. There are layers of red and yellow. Deeper down was red, white, and blue. The final layer is just for me. It's green, for inner peace, for creativity. Various hues expressing the entire earth, and then the final thread falls. Bare to shining porcelain, my memories lay organized before me in the ultimate game of solitaire. I look at them, admire them, and appreciate them. I roll the colors into neat little skeins and tuck them into my pocket, to forever be carried but not to be seen, to be part but not all of me. Without the weight, without the heat, I see that I am more than yellow, and my spirit shines as bright as the sun.
Thanks so much, May and Mia, for sharing your poems with us tonight. And congratulations to everyone who participated in the Youth Speak Out Poetry Writing Contest.
And right now, we'd like for you to focus your attention center stage to hear from our high school winner of the Youth Sing Out Contest, titled The Sad Truth, performed by Barthelma Adams and Laverne McLean's third period class from Max S. Hayes High School. Thank you to our Roots of American Music teaching artist, Sam Hooper, for working with these awesome students.
Together, begging for peace. A protest today to keep hate away. Demonstrating love, making a change. Try to transform the reality that we live in. Real life problems require real decisions. Under that hollow shell of hate, together we spread our love and faith. Hope is our solution that will never cease. Hope is our solution that will never cease. Living our life with so much despair. A world like this is so unfair. All the hate crimes we know it's not right. Some of them only attack at night. Gotta find a way to shine the light. The ropes around necks are way too tight. So I can stand together, begging for peace. Work to the day to keep hate away. Demonstrating love, making a change. Try to transform the reality that we live in. Real life problems require real decisions. Under that hollow shell of hate, together we spread our love and faith. Hope is our solution that will never cease. Hope is our solution that will never cease.
We all know people can change. let's all try to motivate. Tell them the word, tell them the message, to spread the love.
Difunde el amor.
Let me say it a little more.
Answer and hope.
Ayo, hirome más. Together we will change this world of ours. Society standing together, begging for peace.
Our brothers and days to keep hate away. Demonstrating love, making a change. Try to transform the reality that we live in. Real life problems require real decisions. Under that hollow shell of hate, together we spread our love and faith. Hope is our solution that will never cease. Hope is our solution that will never cease. The sad truth, it's the sad truth. Hope is our solution that will never cease. Hope is our solution that will never cease.
Thank you so much. Incredibly powerful lyrics from Bartelma Adams and Laverne McLean's third period class from Max Hayes High School. Thank you so much to all of you for sharing your inspiring song. And now we're ready to move on to the essay portion of our contest. All of the winners in 6th through 12th grade will receive a $400 cash prize, and all the runner-ups receive an $100 cash prize. So let's get started with our 6th grade runner-up, Vandy Ickes from Hudson Middle School. Vandy, please stand up and be recognized. And now we're going to welcome our 6th grade first place winner to the podium to read her essay, Elizabeth Gia from Hudson Middle School. Welcome, Elizabeth. Elizabeth loves to dance, sing, play piano, hockey, and golf. She also enjoys drawing and reading and would like to become a lawyer, entrepreneur, or engineer who writes novels on the side. Elizabeth?
This was the most important game in the preseason. We couldn't lose or we wouldn't be in the AA bracket in our hockey league. With us trailing 3-4 in the third period with 1 minute left, I was put on the ice. The other team had a penalty and we had pulled our goalie. It was a 6-on-4. The puck went to our defenseman on the face-off. He shot it but missed. The other team shot the puck down the ice and we restarted with 30 seconds left. I intercepted the puck and skated it up. I tried to shoot it but missed and the puck went in the corner. Once I regained possession, I wheeled around and fed the puck in front of the net. My teammate shot it in with time running out. Everyone gathered around Tim but seemed to forget about me. They hugged each other and I was standing outside, watching their moment of joy. I felt excluded but congratulated my teammate and skated away. I thought I would feel better off of the ice, but it was the same in the locker room. Chris saved us. Yeah! I felt very small, like I was insignificant to our tie. Although we didn't lose, I felt a pit inside me. Would I ever feel included? Again and again, the celebration continued. I hoped someone would say, "Great assist," or "Good job," but I was so wrong. I'm the only girl on my team, and I often feel excluded. All the boys hug when someone scores, and it's awkward to include me in it. This is why I play on a part-time girls' team as well. However, I will need to fit in with the boys as I'll have to play with them in high school. I feel excluded everywhere, on and off the ice. Before games, the boys play a game of football. I've learned to stop trying to play. I'm left out of activities, even small games. At team meals, I battle internally where to sit. If I sit with the adults, I'll be bored. But if I sit with the boys, I'll make everything awkward. Feeling left out hurts, no matter what the setting is. While riding home, I realized that people often feel how I felt at that moment and that I might inadvertently cause that same pain to other people. I told myself that any time I see someone who is feeling left out, I will invite them in, so not so many people will have to feel what I felt. That pit that had been there in that moment should never have to come back to me or go to anyone else either. If people try to see how many people are hurt by this and try to change it, we can stop exclusion, one moment of loneliness at a time, making the world a better place and letting people feel included. So join hands, everybody, and stop the hate.
All right, now we will move on to 7th grade. Our 7th grade runner-up is Scarlett Grimm from North Ridgeville Academic Center. Scarlett, please stand. Nice job, Scarlett. And we will now welcome our 7th grade first place winner to the podium to read her essay, Rivka Pasternak from Houston Crosby School. Rivka loves to read and write. She volunteers at Revere Road Synagogue, where she helps cook and set up for events. And in the future, Rivka plans to continue pursuing English and Jewish studies. So come on up here, Rivka.
In the summer of 5th grade, I went to an all-Orthodox Jewish camp. I come from a traditional home, so this was an opportunity to connect with other girls from similar backgrounds. One day, another girl and I were assigned cleanup duty, so we had to stay inside while everyone else left to have their own downtime. 5 minutes later, the girl I was working with muttered something under her breath, so I instinctively asked her if anything was wrong. "You're not Jewish enough," she replied. It took me a couple of moments to comprehend what was being said to me. Hurtful thoughts clouded my mind as I paused and looked away from the person in front of me. "What do you mean I'm not Jewish enough?" I whispered to myself. Looking back, I shouldn't have said anything, because it only hurt my feelings more to hear her respond, "Well, you don't focus on wearing sleeves that cover your elbows, and I bet I know more Torah than you know." Normally, I would brush something like that off, but these insults hit close to home. As I slept that night, I sadly couldn't get her voice, the image of disgust written on her face, and her crossed arms out of my head. It was then, in the middle of the night, that I realized why hate grows. People are very quick to look down on people who look different than themselves. In this situation, it was clear to me that the length of my sleeves mattered more to her than my love for Israel or for learning Torah. The world becomes a better place when we look beyond what a person looks like on the outside and focus on how that person contributes to his or her community or what they can offer others. It goes beyond clothing and customs. We should not let these differences between us blind us from what we have in common to help change the world for the better. If you see that every person in the world has value, then you stop hate from spreading. What truly matters more, a person's character or what a person looks like? Ever since that moment in time, I never want to make anyone feel the way that I felt. I make sure to be more open and humble towards other people's opinions, religion, race, and values. Now, when I look at someone who looks different from me, I pause, make sure not to make a snap judgment, and give the person a chance to let me see who they are on the inside. When we can appreciate the value of every person we encounter, we stop hate from spreading.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, Rivka. Now on to our 8th grade. Our 8th grade runner-up is Simon Factora from St. Albert the Great. Simon, please stand and be recognized. And now we welcome our 8th grade first place winner to the podium to read her essay, Hiba Sosi Aloui from Beechwood Middle School. Hiba loves volleyball, playing the piano and violin, drawing, and theater. She aspires to become a lawyer to advocate for others and believes that a career in law will allow her to continue to make a difference in people's lives. Hiba?
I thought I was joining a circle of friends bound by the love of the game. Little did I know that my religion would become a barrier in this seemingly open arena of sportsmanship. The initial practice felt promising, a blur of introductions and smiles, but beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. Whispers and hushed conversations lingered, and I sensed the curious glances directed at me as if I were an alien. The whispers soon materialized into actions, and the friendships I thought I had began to erode. During practices, an invisible wall formed around me. The ball conveniently avoided my reach, passes were strategically skipped, and my mistakes were met with a laughter that reinforced their unity. I became an outsider, not only because of my religion, but also because I was the new girl, disrupting their established dynamics. The silent exclusion cut deep. No one said it out loud, but I could feel it in every practice and every game. It wasn't about my skills. It was about something beyond my control, my faith. Many emotions swirled within me: anger, hurt, confusion. Why should my religion dictate my place on a volleyball team? The game should be about teamwork and skill, not about religious beliefs. My experience wasn't just about personal struggle. It unveiled a wider issue of prejudice and intolerance. This journey taught me the importance of resilience. I've learned that victory lies not only in winning games, but also in eradicating exclusion and creating a team where everyone has an equal place. I didn't take action then, but looking back, I recall the struggles of being excluded due to my background, and in the face of exclusion, I held onto a hope for change. As I continue my athletic journey, I aim to seek opportunities to support and guide other athletes, ensuring that they don't encounter the same exclusion I faced. My goal is to actively cultivate an inclusive environment where every athlete, regardless of their background or beliefs, feels valued and respected. I will do this by giving the same level of respect to every player and listen and display empathy to all athletes. It's about instilling hope for change and creating a culture of inclusivity so that athletes can grow and thrive in an atmosphere that celebrates diversity and sustains the true spirit of sportsmanship.
Okay, ninth graders, are you ready? Our ninth grade runner-up is Samson Parker from Garrett Morgan School of Leadership and Innovation. Where's Samson? Congratulations. And we're going to welcome our ninth grade first place winner to the podium to read her essay. Let's hear it for Zoe Klingsham from Firelands High School. Where's Zoe? Zoe loves writing and hiking. Zoe plans to become a writer known for poems and short stories, and she also plans to pursue a career in mental health field to help others, such as therapists or social worker. Welcome.
Do you think she'd be cuter if I tore her hair out and force-fed it to her? Cut her back and yanked her spine and strung her entrails on a cross? This was one message in a string of threats a boy sent to my friends after I ended our relationship. He was infuriated that I had stopped allowing his emotional and sexual abuse. As a result, I was harassed. I was afraid of leaving my home and even more afraid of going to school. I reported the message to my school's social worker. I explained to her with tears running down my face that I was afraid this boy was going to kill me. I was disturbed by the number of videos and pictures he sent to me depicting him shooting guns and holding knives. I was more disturbed by his never-ending threats of violent torture. The principal convinced me to file a police report after she was made aware of the message. Agreeing to file the report was the most difficult decision I have ever made. The court process was agonizing. I had to prove everything he did to me wasn't one dramatic lie. I was forced to relive the trauma over and over again during the ensuing trial. The pain was unbearable, and for some time, I truly felt as though I might never recover. The reality of the situation is that I am lucky. Some victims do not get the privilege of receiving justice. Some do not even get to report what happened to them. The most terrifying realization of injustice that has ever crossed my mind is that sometimes victims do not receive help. To counter this injustice, I put effort into teaching my peers about toxic relationships. In 8th grade, I chose to do a presentation about bringing awareness to unhealthy relationships. Everyone knows abusive relationships exist, but not everyone knows how to stand up against them. The goal is not to tell people about abuse, but to inform them on the signs and how to report it. Survivors are afraid of being discredited or even killed for exposing their abuser. Unfortunately, nothing will happen to the guilty if we do not stand up for ourselves. The future of dating violence is fully dependent on our actions. My message is not to talk about injustice. My message is to scream about it. Scream about every rape joke, every unsolicited comment, every dehumanizing touch. Injustice does not die on its own. It is up to us to call out these disgusting behaviors. Finding my voice is important, but encouraging others to use their voice is just as important. Another brave action is another person who won't feel like they're all alone as they walk into that room, sit down in that chair, and vow to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you so much, Zoe. And now we're ready for 10th grade, and our 10th grade runner-up could actually not be here with us tonight, but it's Elizabeth Chen from Berea Mid-Park High School. Elizabeth is not here because she's in New York City with her school choir and orchestra participating in a Broadway workshop. So congrats to Elizabeth. And now it's my pleasure to welcome our 10th grade first place winner to the podium to read her essay, Aisha Faruqi from Mentor High School. Aisha wrote a novel at age 11, publishing it by the age of 13. She also writes for the school newspaper, plays on the girls' tennis team, and plays viola. She plans to go to college for STEM and continue to serve students through a nonprofit summer camp. Aisha?
I remember standing in the hallway at summer camp, around the age of 6 or 7. I was laughing with a girl that I'd befriended in the few days past. I don't remember what we were talking about. You know, my mommy told me not to talk to black people, she said, matter-of-factly. But I like you. You're nice. She beamed at me. I froze, my lips beginning to downturn. I stammered, but before the jumbled words in my head could escape my mouth, the counselor rounded us up. I looked down at my skin, the color of chai that had been passed down to me from countless prior generations in India. I cannot explain to you how many times I've replayed this memory in my head. The details have been embedded in my mind. Even as a kid in elementary school, so many aspects of this amazed me. That there were parents in this world who told their children not to speak to someone just because of the color of their skin. That a young girl with no fault to her own can misrecognize my race just because my skin was darker than hers. Children inherently didn't discriminate. It was that day that I had learned that it was often environment and upbringing, with a pure lack of knowledge that embedded such hate. I was raised in an immigrant household. I could point to India on an Asian map in 2nd grade, only for a girl to say, "No wonder you look Chinese." As the people around me began to learn about these cultures, however, all of a sudden, superficial things began to explain things about me. Suddenly, my ethnicity explained my math scores in academics, undermining the effort that I had put in. Our lives and accomplishments are often overlaid with prejudice, stereotypes, and ignorance. It took one mother's hatred and stereotyping towards black individuals that led to her to teach her daughter something wrong. But in the end, it took a girl to look past that and view humanity for what it is, without much knowledge, despite her own mother. As a kid, I promised myself that I would never make anyone else feel the same way that some others made me feel. Literature and STEM have always been two of my passions. In both of these, I want to spread awareness. When I read, I'm submerged in diverse topics, cultures, and people. I want to learn the most that I can. When I wrote a novel at age 11, I wrote up a diverse stage of characters. And later, when I published it, I hoped that people like me could find themselves in these characters. This summer, I founded a nonprofit organization that provides accessible STEM education in hopes that students from diverse backgrounds can beat the stereotypes and find unity in something that they love. I don't know where that girl from camp is now. I do know that she left an impact on me, something that I can utilize to make an impact on others. Thank you.
Very powerful words, Aisha. Thank you. And now I have the honor of introducing a fellow trustee at the Maltz Museum, a huge advocate of the mission of the museum, and chair of Stop the Hate, Daryl McNair.
Thank you, Sarah. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here tonight to celebrate all of our student participants, teachers, and schools participating in the Stop the Hate program. Stop the Hate has been around for 16 years. And every year, it warms my heart to watch these students grow and have their voices heard as they speak about their encounters with bias and injustice. And while tonight is really about the students, where would we be without our teachers? All working so hard to support our children and help them develop into remarkable human beings. It was shortly after the program's inception that we quickly realized without teachers, there would be no Stop the Hate. This is why we recognize individual educators who go above and beyond in their classrooms as anti-bias education advocates. While there are many deserving teachers, and as you can imagine, selecting only two is very difficult, as all are well-deserving. Today, we are proud to recognize and award 2 Teachers of the Year for their work with the Stop the Hate program. Please join me in congratulating Lisa Blasco of Garfield and Harding Middle Schools and Amy Garantino of Lakewood High School. Amy's not here this evening, but please, she can hear us if we clap loud for her. Lisa, oh. Okay. Thank you both for the work you do to Stop the Hate. Each teacher will receive a $1,000 cash prize in recognition for their personal commitment to anti-bias education. Congratulations again, Lisa and Amy, and thank you again for all you do. You're an inspiration to us. Very appreciate you. Now, let's take a few moments to see how teachers are putting their grants to work at their schools. As part of the Stop the Hate program, local participating schools can also submit a request for a $6,000 anti-bias education grant. This year's $6,000 grants were awarded to Aurora High School, Garfield Heights High School, and Milkovich Middle School. Can we give them a round of applause? And a total of $46,500 in grants were given out to schools this year as part of the Stop the Hate program. Teachers and administrators can use these grants to fund school initiatives centered on diversity and inclusion. It's a great way to supplement the curriculum and keep these topics top of mind with students. And to present these ideas in new and engaging ways that keep students inspired. Whether it's an assembly, field trip, or classroom activities, these grants give teachers the funding needed to make a difference. Let's take a look now at how some of our past grants recipients have put their grants to work, narrated by our own Scott Simon, who's vice chair of the Stop the Hate Committee. We have a video to play here for you.
Stop the Hate provides a platform for students to speak out in support of a more inclusive society. Anti-bias education grants are awarded to schools as part of the program. Let's see the impact.
The grant opportunity really meant everything because I did not necessarily have funds as a classroom teacher to be able to bring in Great Lakes Theater, for example, to work with my students on Othello. We were looking at the bias, the racial overtones, and I needed to bring that to life for them. So utilizing the funds that I received from the grant helped to make that happen.
All right, so go ahead, step forward.
Did you by indirect and forced courses subdue and poison a young maid's affections?
I do beseech you. This is a very great opportunity for not only me, but for my classmates as well.
It makes it more interesting and exciting. The kids are more willing to participate. Students that would normally maybe miss my class for whatever reason, find a reason then to come and to be present. And this kind of programming does that for kids.
I believe Stop the Hate on a personal and on a standpoint as a teacher, it just enhances our humanity.
As you know, in the public education system, money is not readily available at all times. So the grant has enabled us to purchase the different supplemental materials that we need to make sure that we can offer a very enriching curriculum to our students.
Thank you, because without you, our students would not have this great opportunity.
We wanted to push the envelope. We wanted to dive deeper into the work that we were doing. And the Maltz Museum and this project, in this opportunity with Stop the Hate, was just a way to open those doors and get a little bit more opportunities in our students' hands to really just be a more inclusive environment.
It's all about that exposure. It's all about those conversations. Those are the ways that we start ensuring that we can really address the issue of stopping hate.
We need this grant in order to create more opportunities, because the barriers of not having those opportunities can really hold our students back, and those connections that they make is going to be critical to really anything that they do in life.
This activity is a simple demonstration of how our implicit biases automatically kick in.
This anti-bias education is just an added layer to how we're going to continue to support our students and help them with their everyday lives.
Don't open your eyes yet. I'm going to give instructions without talking. Group yourselves together.
This program helps kids and students get familiar with and know how to treat someone who is different from them.
Pursuing the grant opportunity provided the financial resources that we needed to make this vision happen. We have been just so elated to be able to provide professional development to our staff, having the inclusion assembly to educate our student body, and the experience to really allow our peers to all come together and practice that inclusion in the community setting.
We can ensure that now we're planting seeds of tolerance and inclusion in our buildings, which makes the whole educational process so much better for our students.
Okay, we're getting close. It's time to recognize and hear from our 11th and 12th grade essay finalists. Our 7 honorable mentions will all receive a $1,000 cash prize plus a $500 grant for their respective schools. So let's congratulate this group of brave, inspiring students, and we will highlight them. Ebony Deck, 12th grade St. Joseph Academy. Aliyah Gundani, 12th grade Shaker Heights High School. Will Linson III, 12th grade Twinsburg High School. Gal Nava, 12th grade Orange High School. Hong Bao Tran Nguyen, 12th grade Solon High School. Radha Parikh, 11th grade Beechwood High School. And Helena Pearl, 12th grade Hudson High School.
And now, I'd like to invite our top 3 finalists, Aditya, Zoe, and Skylar, to the stage. They will each read their essay representing all of the students who put words to paper for Stop the Hate. Please come up on stage. And I'd first like to invite Aditya Balamurugan, an 11th grader from Solon High School, to my podium to read. Aditya is passionate about science, and in his free time, he likes to read books, study computer science, and learn about finance and economics. He plans to further his computer business and lead an innovative career that transforms the lives of many. Aditya, please come to my podium.
Clang, bang, thump. I rose from my mattress and looked into the hallway. What shocked me most wasn't the torn tablecloth draped on the dinner table or the broken plates and utensils. It was my father lying laterally on his right, with his left hand weakly clutching the tablecloth he had partially dragged off the table. As I rushed towards my fallen father, his eyes tracked mine. And after momentary eye contact, he shut his eyes. My father had just suffered an episode of vasovagal syncope, a sudden loss in consciousness caused by overwhelming stress. He was an immigrant under a H-1B visa, a status that prohibits an unemployment period longer than 60 days under the threat of deportation. He was on day 49 and had received yet another rejection for not a job, but a mere interview. The reason wasn't his ability, but rather his visa. An inordinate proportion of jobs in America don't even consider H-1B applicants and decline interview requests simply due to a person's immigration status. After realizing this injustice, I researched the United States immigration system to discover how my family could escape our quandary. I concluded that the only way to escape the quagmire was to obtain a green card, as the ID protects laborers from workforce discrimination. However, after deeper research, I discovered that for Indian immigrants like my father, that's a quagmire in itself. Under current law, no country's immigrants may receive more than 7% of available green cards annually, a country kept ignorant of populous nations like India that account for significantly more than 7% of immigrants. In fact, the Cato Institute reported that the quota-induced backlog causes a literal lifetime wait for applicants from India, with more than 400,000 of them expected to die before ever receiving a green card. My research culminated in a realization: American society condemns illegal racism, but ignores legal racism, something my family, along with thousands of others, endures. There were only 2 ways to rectify legal racism: amending the immigration system itself and discarding restrictive eligibility requirements. I decided to advocate for both. Since that decision, I've contacted congresspersons like Max Miller, J.D. Vance, and Sherrod Brown, informing them of the cruelty faced by Indian immigrants and exhorting them to propose policies that discard green card quotas. In addition, I've sent a myriad of letters to organizations including the Calvin Coolidge and Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundations, imploring them to remove or provide exceptions to permanent residency prerequisites that plague their educational programs. My approach is incremental at its root, but I believe that breakthroughs are driven by gradual changes that accumulate to unleash sweeping transformations. Call by call, letter by letter, I'm sowing the seeds of reform, knowing that each voice added to the chorus amplifies the call for immigrant justice. While clangs, bangs, and thumps from vasovagal syncope might be inevitable, I hope that one day they will never be a result of immigrant racism.
And right now we will have Zoe Schmidt, a 12th grader from St. Joseph Academy, join me over here to read her essay. Zoe is interested in art, social justice, and engaging with her community. She volunteers at her school's art camp for children and plans to major in public health or another medical pathway and eventually serve marginalized populations. So let's hear it for Zoe.
No dancing together, no using chosen names or pronouns, no rainbows. Those who break these rules will be subject to disciplinary action. These are a few of the statements from the September 2023 anti-LGBTQ+ policy decreed by Bishop Edward Malesic and supported by the Catholic Diocese of Cleveland. The day it was implemented, I sat quietly, letting hot tears drip down my face. I was shocked at how sudden and unsettling it was. The policy strictly prohibits any form of self-expression, education, or engagement affiliated with or in support of LGBTQ+ students or their rights. Mandated in over 80 Catholic schools, this policy continues to have detrimental effects on the mental, physical, and spiritual well-being of students. Not only this, but the policy moves us backwards as a society and reverses all the progress we have made towards inclusivity. After 4 years of watching my peers work tirelessly to create safe spaces in our school community, it was all going to be ripped away. Usually, I am a loud crier. I stomp around and make a commotion. But this time, I was quiet. As a storm of emotions passed through me, I felt helpless. Luckily, soon after the policy was published, our school announced that since we were independent from the diocese and fell under the jurisdiction of the religious order affiliated with our school, we would not be implementing the policy. I felt grateful, but not relieved. It can be difficult to imagine the circumstances that others go through if we don't experience them ourselves. I knew that outrage would not be widely felt at our school if we as a community did not have to face this harsh new reality. I did not want just my peers to be safe from discrimination. I did not want just my peers to feel safe to express themselves and be respected. I wanted that for every student. I was tired of stomping around and crying silently. It was time to do something. After collaborating with our school's GSA leaders, we worked for months planning a peaceful protest in opposition to Bishop Malesic's harmful policy. Outside the Cleveland Public Auditorium, during the Bishop's Eucharistic Revival Mass, which all Catholic schools were invited to attend, we held signs and chanted words of encouragement for queer and trans youth as we demanded that the bishop repeal his policy. This experience has pushed me to become a vocal member in fighting for the rights and dignity of all students in my school community and in Greater Cleveland as well. Currently, the GSA leaders and I have taken initiative to create a safe space online. This platform allows students to share experiences of LGBTQ+ intolerance that they've encountered or witnessed, as well as changes they would like to see in their schools as we work continuously towards the revocation of the policy. My hope is that our actions will inspire change that ripples through not just our local community, but also the global community.
Last, we'll hear from Skylar Sidwell, a 12th grader from Rhodes College and Career Academy. Skylar has played golf for 3 years, participated in the Senate for 2, and spends her time working and taking AP classes. In the future, she'd like to become a nurse to help those in need and to write a book. Skylar.
Small battlefield. Women fight objectification every day. Lifelong comments from males had made me feel objectified. I couldn't even walk to the corner store in biker shorts without being catcalled, whistled at, or honked at. Sexual harassment made me uncomfortable in my own skin. Shamed by the male gaze, I stopped wearing skirts, dresses, and makeup. I started hiding my body in jeans, joggers, and pajama pants. Finally, the day came when I'd had enough. I was in a hot gymnasium in my high school. We females had removed our jackets to reveal tank tops. Mind you, we were not trying to display our bodies, we were just trying to beat the heat. That's when a male student had told us to cover ourselves. He wore a tank top and sagging joggers, yet he had the audacity to criticize us. We were trapped by societal double standards. Plainly, men could reveal, but women had to conceal. This incident made me angry enough to take action, so I planned a school-wide protest. To prove our point, we wore shorts and tank tops. We painted red hands on our bodies to mark the places we'd been shamed by word or deed. We created posters and raised our voices. As we marched through our school, we reclaimed our power with each step. Soon, male students joined our march. Our chant got louder as more people joined in. Chants of "My body, my choice" rang throughout our school. Abruptly, our protest was over. Our time was cut short by our principal directing us back to class. I was still angry. I wanted change, but I wasn't being heard. My principal took me to her office and spoke to me like an adult. I spoke, and she listened. As a result of the public protest I'd planned, it was determined that the boys in our school would follow a strict dress code equal to that of the females. We won a small battle that day. In her diary, Eddie Helsum wrote, "I feel like a small battlefield in which the problems of our time are being fought out." Helsum fought for the rights of women to express themselves freely. Reflecting on the words of this woman who lost her life at Auschwitz, I realize every woman is fighting a battle. From planning this protest, I learned that our generation must speak out. We must continue to guard the rights of women as Hillsum guarded them during her lifetime. Now, I realize stopping hate is a lifelong process. I plan to become a gynecological nurse practitioner to heal victims of sexual assault and domestic violence. I will empower my female patients by showing them that men do not determine our fate in this world. So far, my life's journey has taken me from organizing a public protest to preparing for a career as a medical professional. Today, I see myself as a soldier on a small battlefield. Here I stand, ready to wage war to stop the hate.
Our congratulations to these outstanding students, and now we're going to hear from them in their own words as they share short excerpts from their essays in our video.
Have you ever wanted to be invisible? I have.
Ugly. Such a simple word. Yet it held the power to shatter a person's self-esteem. Do you think she'd be cuter if I tore her hair out and force-fed it to her? Cut her back and yanked her spine and string her entrails on a cross? He was infuriated that I had stopped allowing his emotional and sexual abuse.
Sexual harassment made me uncomfortable in my own skin. I stopped wearing skirts, dresses, and makeup.
Many times I have been told to speak English because they saw the color of my skin and could not understand me.
Speak English, the teacher snapped.
The girl I was working with muttered something under her breath. You're not Jewish enough, she replied. It took me a couple of moments to comprehend what was being said to me.
I can never forget when a little girl walked into my average suburban apartment with her single mother, who cleaned homes like mine for a living. But my aunt warned, don't even get close to her.
You know, my mommy told me not to talk to black people, but I like you. You're nice.
I was one of the only people of color in the complex and found myself contemplating, do I even belong here?
So, how were you born? She asked me when I mentioned my mom being a lesbian. In 2021, I came out as a transgender man. I was 12. I always had people treating me like a clueless child who didn't know what he wanted. In truth, I was scared and upset that my peers would never truly see me as a boy.
After 4 years of watching my peers work tirelessly to create safe spaces in our school community, it was all going to be ripped away.
Same-sex couples may not attend dances as a couple, and no one can advocate or celebrate the LGBTQ+ community in any way.
Those who break these rules will be subject to disciplinary action. I sat quietly, letting hot tears drip down my face.
My friends and I decided that we could not stay silent.
I did not want just my peers to feel safe to express themselves and be respected. I wanted that for every student.
I felt a surge of pride going to soccer practice, a supposed heaven of acceptance for my identity.
Little did I know that my religion would become a barrier in this seemingly open arena of sportsmanship.
One brutal charge left me sprawled on the ground, the assailant hissing a venomous slur at my Jewish heritage.
I thought I would feel better off of the ice, but it was the same in the locker room.
I was repeatedly called racial slurs in the locker room.
I felt a pit inside me. Will I ever feel included?
It felt like I didn't belong. In the face of exclusion, I held onto a hope for change.
I discovered an inner strength and a resolve for change.
I refused to quit. Instead, it fueled my motivation to work to create an environment where every person is valued.
We seem to have forgotten the lessons we were taught as children.
People want to be treated like everyone else.
Everyone is born different.
We should not let these differences between us blind us to what we have in common.
Nobody should feel excluded just for being themselves.
Our generation must speak out.
It's time for all of us to become beacons of light, to reflect on one another.
In the face of injustice, it's necessary to use your voice to spark change.
Our actions will inspire change that ripples through not just our local community, but also the global community.
Breakthroughs are driven by gradual changes that accumulate to unleash sweeping transformations.
I will continue to stand up for others when I see injustice, and do my part to help change the world.
I want to fight for the kids who don't have the supportive family I have.
I choose to be a force for good, a catalyst for change. And though the road ahead may be fraught with challenges, I walk it with unwavering determination, fueled by the belief that together we can make a difference, one act of kindness at a time.
Each year never ceases to amaze me. Powerful words from our students. Thank you for your bravery. I'm going to go off script for a second. Sorry, David. To the youth here, I want you to find that person in the audience or persons who stand behind you, that allow you to have a voice, who brought you here this evening. I want you to acknowledge them. Make eye contact with them. And parents, give them a round of applause, please. Okay. Before we announce the winners, on behalf of the Maltz Museum, congratulations to every finalist and every student who participated in the Stop the Hate program. Your submissions have given us all hope that you're going to go out and help change this world for the better. Thank you for your honesty, bravery, and compassion. We can never have too much of that in this world. Our sincere appreciation again to everyone who makes this possible. All the amazing educators, teachers, partners, docents, and thousands of brave student participants and finalists, generous volunteers and judges, dedicated sponsors, our board here, committee, and staff, and of course to you, our audience. Thank you for joining us tonight to hear and appreciate the words of young people in our community. They have so much to say, so much at stake, and together we can stop the hate. Now, the moment. Now, the moment you all been waiting for, the announcement of this year's winners of the Youth Speak Out Essay Contest. I got $35,000 here. Somebody's gonna get it. Without further ado, our second runner-up is, and can we get a drum roll, please? Skylar Sidwell in 12th grade at Rhodes College and Career Academy. Skylar, congratulations on your $5,000 scholarship and also your $2,000 school scholarship as well, too. Your school gets $2,000. Congratulations. So the odd thing about announcing the next winner is once I announce the name, then you're going to know who the winner is. So our first runner-up, and can I get another drum roll, please? Aditya Bala Murugan, 11th grade at Solon High School. Congratulations on your $10,000 scholarship, as well as a $2,000 grant for your school as well, too. And now our grand prize winner, who will receive a $20,000 scholarship plus a $5,000 grant for their school. Another drum roll, please. Can you guess who it is? Zoe Schmidt, 12th grade at St. Joseph Academy.
But you know no more who
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our program this evening. And again, warm welcome and congratulations for our participants and those of you in the audience. Have a safe drive home, everyone.